In 1982, Disney gave us what would become a cult classic in their sci fi flick Tron. 15 years ago, we got a long awaited and long overdue sequel in Tron Legacy. And now, 15 years later, we get ourselves another one. Finally, in the form of Tron Ares, now playing in theaters. But is this new installment worthy enough to check out for some more cool special effects and video game themed type action what you could get in the previous two films? Or is this one just completely worthy enough to get sent back to a world where games like this shouldn't even exist? Find out in this spoiler free review right now. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a spoiler free review of the 2025 sci fi action flick Tron Ares, released by Disney, directed by Joachim, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Running, from a screenplay by Jesse Wigoto, based on a story by David Gillian and Wigoto. This is the third film in the Tron series and the sequel to 2010's Tron Legacy. Features an ensemble cast including Jared Leto, Greta Lee, Evan Peters, Jodie Turner-Smith, Hasan Minhaj, Arturo Castro, and Gillian Anderson, with Jeff Bridges reprising his role as Kevin Flynn from the previous films. Like the previous film, it's gotten some mixed reviews and what have you, but well, at least they appreciate some of the stuff and what have you. So before you before you go into this is a spoiler-free review. But if you have not seen my reviews of the other two Tron films, click on that card in the new playlist I created in case you might have missed them or see them again if you wish. Okay, on with the story. In 2025, 15 years after Sam Flynn attempted to revive his father Kevin from the grid, Income and Dillinger Systems, led by former Income executive Ed Dillinger's grandson Gillian, race to bring digital constructs into reality but can only sustain them for 29 minutes before de-resolution. Income Chief Executive Officer Eve Kim and Seth Flores visit a remote Alaskan station set up by Kevin Flynn decades ago, believing his computers hold a permanence code to break the 29-minute barrier. After finding the code, they transfer a digital orange tree into the real world, where it lasts for hours. At the Dillinger headquarters, Julian introduces Ares, the new master control program, to shareholders, claiming that he is the perfect expendable soldier. Ares shows unexpected self awareness, knowing Julian's indifference to his survival and interest in real world phenomena. After Ares resolves, Julian's mother, Elizabeth, lectures him for not mentioning the limited lifespan. Julian dismisses it and uses Ares to attack Income's mainframe for the code. A security fight ensues as Ares downloads Eve's data. During their escape, Ares, despite his programming, tries saving an injured program named Chaos, but Julian escapes and disables Income's grid. Well, and apparently, this really turns into a real thrill ride. As Eve and Seth return from Income with a hard drive containing the code, their colleague AJ warns of an attack and Eve leaves alone as Julian and Ares track her, with Ares and his second in command, Athena, chasing via light cycles. Now, that's all the story I'm going to give to you. If you want to see the rest, see the movie. But anyway, I'm going to tell you that well, actually see the movie throughout until there is a mid-credit scene, but I'm not really going to give you that detail. But from what I've seen of Tron Ares, I am going to say that it's not too bad. I mean, well, I thought it was a tad bit better over the previous installment, but you don't have to take my word for it. I will say it's fine, what have you. It's just that some issues were occurred. But before I say anything, let me give you the how things went. The reviews were mixed. Rotten Tomatoes has a score of 57, which is better than the 51% the previous film got. As they say, a sensory feast of vivid neon hues and a hypnotic soundtrack. The film is gorgeous to behold, but too narratively programmatic to achieve an authentically human dimension. Metacritic has a score of 48, and the Audience's poll by Cinema Score gave it an average B+. The Hollywood Reporter praised Jared Leto's refreshingly subdued performance as the eponymous, I'm sorry, I keep mispronouncing that word, digital program, highlighting how this restrained approach added both an emotional hook and an occasional touch of humor and commended the film's design for honoring the franchise's roots while taking significant steps forward. The Irish Times also said that this film was better than Legacy, citing the soundtrack and performances, particularly of Leo and Lee, but knowing that it could pass for a visual album. A reviewer on RogerEbert.com called it a spectacularly designed, swiftly paced, thoughtfully written, and directed within an inch of its neon-hued life. The Wall Street Journal stated that the film is essentially a laser light show redo of the first two Terminator movies, with Eve as Sarah Connor, minus the suspense, that the scares, and the witty dialogue. Now, I really won't get into a bad response, but I can understand why some people are kind of a little criticized with the storyline and the characters. Sure, storyline might not quite be the best though, but it's fine and what have you. One thing is, I feel that's kind of a big downside is we don't get to see any appearances of Sam Flynn or Cora from the previous film, which is a big disappointment. Though there is an Easter egg that will show off what happened of the two, but I won't give you any word on how that goes. Again, see the movie. But I will say the visual effects of this was absolutely superb, especially with one scene where Ares enters the actual original world of that Kevin created that was used in the original Tron, which I thought that was a great throwback to it. I think the way how the things from the grid appeared in the real world, like the light cycles and everything, I think that was absolutely superb, and I thought it was pretty cool at this point. But I think the big surprise was the music for the film, which was done by none other than Nine Inch Nails, where Trent Reznor, its member, along with Atticus Ross, were actually executive producers for the film, as a matter of fact. Yes, of course, those who had recently done the score for Disney and Pixar's film Soul, and several others. Now, which I think, as much as I thought Daft Punk's score for the previous film, Legacy, was very good, but I think Nine Inch Nails' music for Tron Ares was even more awesome. I absolutely loved it. It was very good. Now, for the cast, we have Jared Leto, who I think did a really good job on Ares. I think I kind of like this performance he's done. This is the best performance I think he's given us in some time. Much better than what he gave to us in Morbius a few years back. Anyway, his role of Ares is absolutely superb. Eve is played by Greta Lee, and I'm gonna say she was really good. Of course, you may know her of Apple TV Plus's big hit, The Morning Show. Now, playing Julian Dillinger is Evan Peters, who you might remember of the short-lived ABC show Invasion, and has been seen on various series in FX's anthology series of American Horror Story. Very good performance of that. Playing Athena is Jodie Turner-Smith, who had appeared in Queen and Slim, as well as the reboot of White Noise. She also had been on the Apple TV Plus series Bad Monkey as well. I must admit, she does a pretty good job. Now we have Hasan Minhaj as AJ, good. Arturo Castro as Seth, good. Gillian Anderson, does that name sound familiar? I think you know who she is, best known as Agent Scully of the X Files fame. Yes, I was really surprised to see her after all these years, even though I wasn't that big an X Files person. I never watched the show. I'd seen the movie though. Her performance as Elizabeth Dillinger, very good, but I think it was great to have Jeff Bridges back as Kevin Flynn, but unfortunately, unlike the last film, we don't get to see too much of him, which that's also kind of a shame though, but at least we managed to get to see him though. And actually, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross also have cameo appearances as two F-35 pilots in the film's climax. You'll see who they are. But anyway, and there's many others. But anyway, so the cast is really good. I mean, well, the characters maybe are fair and what have you. Well, most of them, but some I thought were pretty good and what have you. And I don't care what they say about that. The story I think was fine and what have you. Maybe not great by any means. The characters and cast are pretty good. The visual effects and the Nine Inch Nails score absolutely superb. This film's struggling, and unfortunately, it's not making as much as we hope. Now, they say this was going to be making close to 40 to 45 million overall. Well, for the U.S. and Canada, just about as much as its predecessor made, but now it's gone down to 35, and that's a kind of a shame. So, as I've said before, I wish this film the best of luck. It's gonna need it because it's on a 180 to 200 million dollar budget. So I hope it does well overseas and hopes to save it from being another underperformance for Disney. But anyway, Tron Ares, it's really good. I thought it was a tad bit of an improvement over the last film, but hey, I didn't hate Legacy. It was really good too. But those two didn't quite come close to my liking for the original classic of Tron. But I'd say it's worth to check out. So go see Tron Ares and you might enjoy it. For my score, I'm giving Tron Ares 4.5 stars. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9. So what did you think of Tron Ares? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Now, though I was planning to do the Creature from the Black Lagoon next, that might be changing next month. Well, not next month. I mean, changing to Monday because I'm thinking about checking out the other new big release of this weekend, Roof Man with Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst. We'll see what happens. Details to follow, okay? Because if so, then you'll get an out the reaction and then a spoiler free review of that. If that happens, I will send Creature of the Black Lagoon to Monday, and then I'll do the two Scooby Doo movies on Tuesday. All right? Okay, glad we come to an understanding. So if you like this, check out my reviews for some of these other kind of big movies with a video game feel to it. Check out my review of Ready Player One in the upper left hand corner. In the upper right hand corner is my spoiler for review of the recent hit video game adaptation Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Or if you would like maybe, I don't know, something else and what have you that might be more of an anime film that might be more family friendly over this one, check out my review of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which I am looking forward, hopefully look forward to the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out next year. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Oh, and one other thing before I finish this, the guy who directed this movie is actually the same guy who had recently done Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, which those I have. Well, now I've yet to review the Pirates from Maleficent. I have. Okay, so and you know what I've just given you before this. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.